Compared to the abysmal U-Turn, Any Given Sunday seems on par with Stone's best work. And while it's not the best movie that Stone's ever done, it's definitely a solid piece of entertainment. Compared to the films of Stone's golden age, Any Given Sunday is a very commercial project. But the thing about Stone's obviously commercial projects is that they're usually several grades above what any other commercial film would be like. Even if it's not a true Oliver Stone film, it's still one of his movies. So we get an engaging film that puts special effort into its style. You just need to go in with the right expectations and you won't be disappointed. Any Given Sunday follows a struggling football team whose franchise is plagued with a bad losing streak. The men who made this team great are getting old, and they stubbornly cling to their positions in the face of changing times. The prime examples of this would include Tony, the head coach, played by Al Pacino, Cap Rooney, the team's aging quarterback, played by Dennis Quaid, and Julian, one of the other leading athletes, played by LL Cool J. The old hierarchy is challenged by the new owner of the franchise. It's the former owner's daughter, Christina, played by Cameron Diaz. While her father had been good friends with Tony, Christina feels that Tony's getting old, and she wants to prove herself in this male-dominated world of football. We also get the team's third-string quarterback named Willie Beeman, who becomes an overnight sensation when he finally gets his chance on the field as the second replacement. Suddenly, he's in high demand, and Christina seeks to dismiss Cap in favor of Willie. Meanwhile, Willie's new fame goes to his head, and he antagonizes his teammates and his coaches. We also get trouble involving the team physician, played by James Woods, hiding the seriousness of players' injuries by giving them increased dosages of painkillers so that they keep playing. This is Oliver Stone's tribute to the world of football and how the changing times affect established systems. This is the kind of movie that Wall Street 2 should have been like. It's filled with references to real events that shaped the history of American football, and the seemingly endless famous cameos don't take away from the story. And according to my friends who follow American football, there are many, many famous faces throughout the movie. Of course, the ones that were obvious even to me would include the legendary Jim Brown as the team's defensive coordinator. And we also get Lawrence Taylor as the defense captain suffering from terrible injuries that might kill him if he keeps playing. And we also get Pat Toomey, Dick Butkus, Warren Moon, and Barry Switzer in some smaller cameo appearances. And to cap it off, John C. McGinley appears as a thinly veiled impersonation of Jim Rome. While Stone spends a lot of time covering the elusive world behind the games themselves are also explored with fascination. Players literally fly through the air to grab that extra bit of ground in the game. Al Pacino gives the obligatory motivational speech with gusto, capturing the energy and motivation that's needed to play these professional sports. One thing that really ended up working for me was how these athletes who continue to risk their health in front of vast crowds are compared to the gladiators of ancient Rome. Another great Stone touch would be the snarls of tigers as the football players prepare to hurl themselves at each other like beasts. Just like Natural Born Killers, Any Given Sunday is pumped full of R&B and rap songs, but we also get some original soundtrack for the dramatic plays throughout the film. The camera cuts rapidly between the vicious plays and the reactions of those watching the game. It's done in true Oliver Stone style. Now, I should say that this film is very stylized and is obviously hyped with drama, but who cares? The passion felt for American football in the States is carried across very well. This is Oliver Stone paying homage to a world he's looking at from the outside, presumably as a fan of football. The passion for the game is, of course, countered by a desire to make money, and we see the corrupting effects of this lucrative sport. Considering this film was made in 1999, it also says a lot for a society that almost dreaded the upcoming millennium and whatever new changes would come out of it. As a film, Any Given Sunday works very well on the level that it's going for. It might not be Stone's greatest work, but it doesn't have to be. Of course, Any Given Sunday was a financial success, as Stone doubtless intended it to be. But critics were mostly disappointed by this film. Probably because they were expecting another golden age, I guess. After he made Any Given Sunday, Stone was set to direct a number of projects in the early 2000s, including American Psycho, but none of them panned out. He ended up spending the next 4 years making documentaries concerning figures such as Fidel Castro, Yasser Arafat, and Ehud Barak. Finally, in 2004, he returned to theatrical films, with the movie that he aimed to be his masterpiece, but what many have called his biggest disaster. And I feel very safe in assuming that this next video is the one you've all been waiting for me to make.